out of breath from putting my boots on. I even sat down to do it, but they're like, you know, that kind of thing. Hard work. Oh, I'm just sitting on my bouncy ball. So I'm working from home. I've just had to change into a bigger sweatshirt and my whatchamacallit, bathrobe dressing gown because it's so cold. Like my nips are starting to hurt like a lot. Like normally if you get cold, like they hurt a little bit, but oh, this is something else. It like feels like I've been nipple tweaked, but I've just been sitting here working. It's so rough. Hi team, it's Monday, it's January, it's cold, I'm at work, and I'm hungry. That's how I am right now, I'm hungry. I had breakfast. This is the problem with the hunger as well. You can't just stuff yourself and be fine for the rest of the day because like my tummy's smaller because it's all pushed up by the baby. So like I have to eat all the time, but not as much as I want to eat. So I'm finding it very difficult. So this morning I had a piece of toast and a smoothie. And then I got to work and I had both my morning and afternoon snack before 12 p.m. So I've now gone out to Pret and I got a baguette with chicken and bacon because I needed extra meat in my life. And then I had to get a banana and some popcorn and a thing of fruit to keep me okay for the afternoon snack attack. And I actually would have gotten more if I wasn't at Pret and it wasn't insanely expensive. And maybe I should go back to Sainsbury's and get extra snacks. Fuck it, I passed it now. I'm just gonna have to make do. That's all right, I'll go out to the co-op if I need to. I'll keep you updated. Wait, hey! I walked all the way to the train station without having a little fit. Woo! I think I might actually be all like, oh my god, I have so much energy. The second trimester is fantastic. I mean, I'm fucking shattered from work. But at least I don't feel like I'm gonna die, so yay! Guys, there's light at the end of the first trimester tunnel. Just sometimes it might come at week 23 instead of at week 12, like everyone tells you. You know what's unfair? Having heartburn at the same time as you're really, really hungry. So I think on the whole, I'm getting used to being pregnant. I'm not finding it nearly as hard as I was at the beginning. I'm like heavy into the second trimester now. I wouldn't necessarily say I feel amazing like everyone says you're supposed to in the second trimester, but comparatively, I feel a lot better. If you're wondering what this messy hair is about, I'm on my way to get my hair cut. So obviously I'm not going to wash it for myself. That's insane. So yeah, I'm getting used to being pregnant. I mean, I am waddling a little bit. Although if my husband said the other day, oh, you're waddling over? Like, you're not allowed to say that word. You can say, you're swanning gracefully into the room. So yeah, obviously I've adjusted to a new slow style of walking. I haven't had any of those weird dizzy fit spell thingies in a while. Obviously I do have pretty constant heartburn, and I'm eating Tums like they're going out of style. If you're from the UK, Tums are like Gaviscon, but like way better. So there's that. And I think the thing that I'm struggling the most with now is that my stomach is a lot smaller, but my greed and love for food are exactly the same. So I've had 3 times, one on Boxing Day and one 2 weeks ago and one yesterday, 3 times in total, where I've eaten so much that I've had to throw up purely from eating too much. So I've made a habit of that, which obviously I need to deal with because I can't imagine that throwing up is really the best thing to be doing right now. So if I could like not be so greedy, I think that would be a good thing. Hey guys, I'm blonde now. This is what I did to my hair. It looks really shit though because I slept on it, and also I don't have any makeup on, so yay. And I have a cold, which in the grand scheme of things is not that bad of a cold, but cold plus pregnancy, no, not my finest time. So I'm working from home, and I'm just trying to figure out what I need to do for maternity leave. And someone did tell me, one of my other pregnant friends did tell me, I need to get a form for my GP, which I obviously totally forgot about until I ran into an HR lady last week who said, you need to get that form. And it turns out that I need to get that form like really quickly, because you have to do it 15 weeks before your due date, which is actually like next week, which is frightening. That sounds soon. But also I've been looking at this form. Okay, I'm just gonna read this out to you because it sounds insane. Okay, this form must be forwarded confidentially to Human Resources before the 15th week before the expected week of confinement. Like, the expected week of confinement? Like, I'm gonna be confined to my home? Like, I'm sorry, WTF is that? I've looked, and it turns out that the expected week of confinement just means due date. Just flip and say due date. Like, it's not 1847. Like, I am actually going to go out of the house again after I have a baby, I hope. It's really annoyed me. And then it just says it everywhere. It just like, your EWC, it's like, well, it's 2019. What are you doing? I don't care if that's the legal word. Update it. Do I think my hair looks fantastic, though, in other news? It doesn't look like hair that should be on my head, though. Yeah, so I'm figuring this situation out. I get 8 weeks full pay. Fancy that. And then the remaining 31 weeks will be paid at the lower of 90% of your average weekly earnings, or the statutory maternity pay rate, which is set by the government for the relevant tax year. Oh, this is going to be fun, isn't it? Okay, according to gov.uk, statutory maternity pay is £145.18 per week. Everywhere in the whole of the United Kingdom. Like, how does anyone make that work? I mean, like, my husband works, so that will be okay. But that means we'll basically just have his salary. Like, that won't even cover my half of our rent. Oh my God, in my mind, I thought it was going to be a bit more than that. Like, even £200 a week, I feel like is very small, but I could maybe cope with that, because that basically covers, well, I mean, even still, that wouldn't cover my half of the rent, but it would cover almost all of it. But this won't even cover that. Like, what? Like, that's a lot of money if you don't have any living expenses or you don't live in London. Like, we live in, like, why can't there be like a London waiting? Holy mother of God. £145.18. Jeez Louise. Oh, and you don't even get all of that, because you get tax and national insurance deducted from it. Holy fucking hell. So on, like, what is your take-home pay at that rate? This is insane. So, one of my pregnant friends, shout out, you know who you are, because I know you're going to watch this, squeezed her boob yesterday and stuff came out. I'm so not ready for this, and it's all I can think about today. And I kind of want to squeeze my boob and see what happens, but also I'm terrified. Like, I know all the apps say, like, I'm producing stuff now, but I'm not ready to see it. I'm not ready for it to come out. But it's literally all I can think about. boobs, like, what if I squeeze my boob and then it just leaks for the rest of time? Like, I know someone else told me that that couldn't happen, but like, what if it does? You know? Oh, I am traumatized by even the story of it, I think. I have a cold and I feel like I'm dying. It's like the worst when you're pregnant because you can't take anything other than paracetamol, and I only have one of those left. It's so grim. I've been ill all week. And I just keep feeling worse, and now I have these horrible red patches on my cheeks. What's that about? Send help. Okay, so update. I did not die of my cold. That was really, really great. I'm still congested, as you can hear, but I didn't die, so that's really good. Other things that have happened. It's really hard to be pregnant and have a cold, and also keep up to date with videos, so I am way behind in my updates. But I had an interesting thing happen yesterday, which is that I felt like I couldn't feel as many baby movements, and there's signs up all over like the scanning place, and my midwife says, like, if you detect any change in baby movements, go to your midwife immediately. So I had just sort of got it in my head that I hadn't felt as many, and then when I went to sleep, normally she's kicking away and I didn't feel it, and I was like, oh no. And then in the morning I kind of couldn't feel as many strong kicks. So it just so happened I'd had a GP appointment anyway to get the form that I need for maternity leave. So I was going to ask the GP. And then while I was sat in the GP's waiting room, my midwife called. Apparently I was supposed to go to the midwife that day anyway, which I don't think I got a letter about. Either I'm not on top of my admin or I didn't get a letter. To be honest, either of those are potential true things that might have happened. So anyway, the midwife called and I mentioned it to her, and I just said, I'm really glad you called. I feel like I haven't definitely felt baby movements, but I don't feel like they've been as vigorous. And she was like, you need to go to the scanning unit today. Don't wait till tomorrow, go now. So I was like, okay, great. So I saw the GP, she said the same thing. So I took a little Uber over to the scanning unit, and like obviously I was a little bit nervous, but also I think maybe because of the hypnobirthing, I was like very like, look, this is probably fine. You have felt movements. Everything's going to be okay. So I was as calm as I think it possibly could be until my husband called and said, did he want me to come? And I did. I want him to come. And I immediately started crying. And I was like, I don't think so. Only because him coming from work would have made it feel like a much bigger deal. Whereas I was like, I'm trying to be like, this is not a deal. So he was like, okay, well, text me immediately. So I'm like, great. So anyway, I had no idea like how long it would take to be seen or whatever, but freaking NHS credit where it's due. I was in and out of there in an hour, just less than an hour, I think, which I think is great for like a walk-in appointment. Saw a lovely midwife who checked the baby's heartbeat, which was fine. It was moving around. She's moving around in there. And at one point she had the kind of thing on my belly and she was like, oh, there was a movement. Did you feel that? I felt that. I had not felt that, but I didn't want to look like the worst mother ever. So I was like, yeah, I did. So, yeah, everything was fine. They took my blood pressure, temperature, all of those vital sign things, and they were all fine.